We are back. We are Legal Help Live. I'm Ralph, that's Steve, and we are talking to you live from City TV Channel 16 in Santa Monica. As you can see, we're pretty close to the pier, and we're here taking your legal questions by your calling us at 1-310-458-4950. That's how you call. That's how you get in to ask a legal question. And for those of you who do call in, do ask a legal question, get a legal answer, there is a gift certificate for two for dinner or lunch at a restaurant of Steve's or my choice.
And subjects, landlord-tenant problems, you're getting thrown out of your apartment, you want to talk about it, you're walking down the street and standing on the sidewalk and two cars clash together and break your leg. Can you sue them? Can you sue the city? Can you sue the county? You go to a restaurant and you order a great apple pie, and while you're eating the apple pie,
How about if a mouse jumps out of the pie? I hate when that happens.
Assuming it's not one of those cheesy restaurants where it's pie and mouse, and you choke on the mouse,
Hey, you know,
have
if it's on the menu, you got a problem. You choose it, you got to eat it. Traffic problems. Stopped on the freeway, CHP, other law enforcement agencies, small claims cases. If you think that you've got a barking dog and it's driving you nuts and you need to seek an injunction, that's a possibility. Or you could maybe if you've got that barking dog and you want to talk to your city, maybe the city can help. We can help guide you in the direction that you need to go in order to solve the problem.
Immigration, we know how you can stay here legally. We know how you can stay here legally. You want to talk about immigration, give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely. You're charged with a crime and you're in jail. You know what? Call us, and that's your one free phone call. You got a problem with the gift certificate for dinner for two if you're in jail, but you never know. Maybe we'll be able to guide you to get out lawfully.
Okay, we have a call from Blake. Blake, please help and join us on Legal Help Live. Hello, Mr. Blake.
Hi there.
Blake, what's
Hi.
happening?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Santa Monica.
Oh, you sound like a person from Santa Monica.
Don't I? Well, I wanted to ask about your opinions on the big SCOTUS thing going on with Prop 8 here in California.
There's something going on with Prop 8?
I heard
what?
maybe it was on the news all day yesterday.
What is Prop 8?
Well, with Prop 8, with the Supreme Court case, pretty much what I'm trying to figure out is, do we think that Prop 8, the voter initiative, is going to be overturned? Do we think that these initiatives here in California, because by some of the oral arguments yesterday, it sounded like, there might be some standing to sort of knock down the voter initiatives here in California?
Well, let's see. The history of Prop 8 is thus. By law in California, for a while, same-sex marriages were lawful. They were legal. And then there was a ballot initiative, Proposition 8, that passed 48% against, 52 in favor, which means it passed.
Right.
At that time. And what that said was that same-sex marriages were not lawful. There was a district court order that said that Prop 8 was unconstitutional. It was taken to the Ninth Circuit, that's the appellate level in the federal system, and that court said that it was unconstitutional. Now, yesterday it was argued before the United States Supreme Court. And Steve, what do you think?
Well, it's going to be a 5-4 decision.
Aren't they all?
Probably with Justice Kennedy being the swing vote.
Yep.
Everybody's heard that. The interesting thing is that the then governor of the state and the attorney general did not file an appeal against the decision. They felt it was unconstitutional, and some groups brought an appeal on it. And the question is whether or not they have standing to bring this appeal.
Right.
If the courts want to duck the issue, if the Supreme Court comes down and rules on the merits that Prop 8 is unconstitutional, this will then affect, most probably, every state in the United States of America.
Correct.
If they come down on and that may be a states' rights issue, which the court might want to avoid. If they come down and rule procedurally that the persons who appealed it didn't have any right to appeal it, then Prop 8 would go back to the district court decision, which declared it unconstitutional. It would only be binding in California, and then the 49 other states would have a whack at it.
Right, and even that argument as to whether or not the parties the individuals arguing this case now have standing,
Right.
that may end up in a 5-4 decision with Kennedy and the 4, quote, liberal justices determining that there is no standing. Maybe they'll pick up one of the conservative votes as well. Maybe not. We don't know. But based upon the arguments, the snippets that we heard on the radio and that we read in the newspaper, it seems as though it's possible that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to decide that they don't want to decide, in which case they will say there's no standing. And then, as Steve says, in California, but only in California insofar as this case is concerned, same-sex marriages will again be lawful.
And then I think the more as interesting a case is the second case, which the court heard argument in. The federal statute on the Defense of Marriage Act
Right.
basically says that in those states where gay and lesbian marriages are legal by a vote of the people, if you're in one of those marriages, you're not entitled to Social Security benefits. You're not entitled to all kinds of federal benefits. And I think the court is going to strike that federal statute down. I think Justice Ginsburg today was pretty clear when she said, what is it? There's one kind of marriage, and then there's sort of the skim milk marriage.
Yeah, she says this. There are 2 classes of marriage, full and skim milk marriage.
So it may well be
which is wrong. It's just wrong.
That will be a 5-4 vote also, I predict. And I think they'll strike that down. And but, you know, this is an exciting time to live in terms of what's going on in the judicial system. I mean, I can tell you 5-4. It could be unanimous, but I could guarantee that's not going to happen.
Right.
You know, this court doesn't act unanimously, not usually, not generally, almost not ever.
And one of the conservative votes will be in favor of knocking out Prop 8.
Correct.
And
keeping DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act.
so
Aaliyah, I imagine. Yes.
it'll be an interesting thing, and we'll get decisions on both of those
Like June, probably June.
before the end of June.
Yeah.
Before the court takes its summer recess.
I suspect so.
Well, Blake, you just won a dinner for 2 at your restaurant of your choice in New York City.
Yes.
If
Well, actually, one of you has to go to New York City. One of you goes to London, and that's how we're going to split this up.
I'm taking the London trip.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks a lot, Blake.
Good call.
Thanks for calling Legal Help Live. Folks, you can call. You can get in, ask a legal question at 310-458-4950. And we got another call, Steve?
Oh, let me ask since we're in a brand new studio, is the phone number up on the screen while we're speaking? Okay.
We're getting a yes.
Okay, well, that's good. All right. So, Robin, come on in. Join us on Legal Help Live.
Hi there. Boy, does that new set look great, you guys.
Doesn't it look nice? As soon as we stop broadcasting, we're going to head over to the carousel, and that's going to go around.
Great. I hope you guys have a 2-for-1 coupon or something.
Yeah, and the breeze behind us is great.
Yeah, that'll be
having the
very
beach
helpful.
in your background is just fantastic.
Now, you guys can't hear this, but the sound of the ocean's just fantastic.
Okay, so I have a legal question. I have a friend who is renting a guest house, a guest cottage, in the backyard of one of my friend's houses. And he has no rental agreement at all, nothing in writing. He just pays a check every month. And the landlord is like over 90 years old. So when she passes away with no legal written agreement, does he have any rights, or can he go to the rent control board or anything like that, or what types of rights do you have if you have no formal written agreement?
What city is this in?
Los Angeles.
Okay. There is a rent control board in the city of Los Angeles that governs how landlords and tenants interact.
Well, in non-rent control areas, it's a simple answer. Whoever owns the property, whoever the heir is or the executor, can give your friend 30 days notice to get out.
Yeah, and unless it's been going on unless that rental agreement
There's
month
no
by month.
There's no agreement.
There's no agreement at all.
30 days notice to get out. If they don't get out, then they can throw them out through the unlawful detainer process. Some rent control areas are different. and then you have to comply with the rent control statute. But in LA and in Santa Monica, it may be a different situation. But the general law throughout California without rent control is if you don't have a lease, if they want you out, then it's 30 days notice.
Correct.
Unless you had a lease and it ran out, then they have to give you 60 days notice.
60 days if the rental agreement is for a year or more.
And what about moving expenses?
You don't get any in most cities.
What conditions?
Leave the furniture behind because you don't
Now,
get any expenses.
rent control, age of the person may have some difference, but in non-rent control cities, which is the majority of the state, there are no moving expenses. In rent control cities, there are some, depending on how long you've been there and
From time to
age,
time.
et cetera. And you can check that very simply by calling the rent control board in the city that the actual apartment is in.
Correct. Correct.
They have like a hotline or people who can answer questions.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, Santa Monica is excellent.
So-
And so is Los Angeles, for that matter, with respect to answering questions that renters have, or landlords, for that matter. They have staff to answer those types of questions, and so I guess our suggestion to you and to your friend through you is to do just that. Call the rent control at Santa Monica. They'll answer all of those questions with specificity.
And with a court system in LA County being sort of totally disheveled, for those you words that don't know what that word is, that's sort of like messing Ralph's hair up. I'm disheveling
See,
it.
I can't do that with Steve's hair. It doesn't move.
But it's going to take quite a while to get him out of there.
Yeah, the unlawful detainer process is supposed to be fast, but it doesn't move as fast as you'd think.
Is there any benefit to having a written agreement at this point?
Yes,
Since it's been over a year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can get a written agreement, then they can't throw you out, assuming you don't violate any conditions during the term of your written agreement.
So you'd
So, yeah.
recommend it?
So yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
if possible.
Covers both sides, what
Yeah.
your rights are and what their rights are.
Yeah, particularly protects the tenant, but it's generally for the benefit of everybody. Then everybody understands what their obligations are, what their responsibilities are. So it's generally beneficial.
Great.
Okay, Robin, thank you for calling Legal Help
Thank you
Live.
for that good advice. I love your show.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
Keep
very much.
watching, and you've just qualified since you got on the air for lunch at 2 at a restaurant of our choice. If you leave your number, social security number, cell number, and way we can reach you, we'll get it to you.
Yes,
Thanks.
indeed. Okay, thanks a lot,
Bye.
Robin. Folks, call us at 1-310-458-4950. That's how to call in and ask a legal question and get a legal answer. And again, as Robin just did, for everybody who calls in, asks a legal question, and gets a legal answer, there's a gift certificate for two for lunch or dinner at a restaurant of Steve's and my choice.
Okay, we're going to have to go to break now, so we'll be back in about 2 minutes. We're going to pay a few bills. Good time to get on the air. Call in the screener, will tell them about what your problem is, and if you make it through the entire hurdling process, which takes about 10 seconds, we'll listen to you on the air.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
You bet.
Legal Help Live is going out.
Stay tuned for more Legal Help Live.